You right-clicked a session in Claude Code, saw an option called fork, and did what most people do. You didn't click it. Because what does it even do? Does it copy your whole project into a new folder? Does it break the original? Is it like a Git branch? I went and verified exactly what it does, including one thing I got wrong myself before checking. By the end of this video, you'll know precisely what fork does, what it doesn't, and the 5 moments where it's genuinely the right tool. Quick honesty note, because it matters here. The fork option in the session list is newer than most of the documentation, so I didn't guess. I verified it against Anthropic's own docs and against what Claude Code actually stores on disk, and I'll tell you the exact version numbers where behavior changed. If something is version specific, I'll say so. That's the whole reason this video exists. There's a lot of confident guessing about this feature online, and most of it is wrong. Here's the plain English answer first. Fork takes your current conversation and creates a new, independent session that starts with a copy of everything said so far. 2 sessions now exist. The original is untouched and keeps going exactly as it was. The fork carries the full history up to the moment you forked, and from that point on the 2 are completely separate. Nothing you do in one affects the other. That's it. It's a save point in branch for your conversation. Now let's kill the big misconception. Part 1. And this is the question I've seen asked the most. Does forking create a whole new project with a new folder, a copy of all my code? No, it does not create a new project, and it does not duplicate your codebase. Fork operates on the session, the conversation, not on your project. Your working directory stays exactly the same. The fork points at the very same project you were already in. Here's how I confirmed it rather than assuming. Claude Code stores each conversation as a transcript file, organized by your project's path on disk. A fork is a new transcript under that same project. A new conversation, same project. Nothing about your folder structure changes. This is the actual structure on disk, and once you see it, the whole feature clicks. 1 folder per project path. Inside it, 1 transcript file per session. When you fork, you get another transcript file inside that same project folder. You do not get a new project folder, you do not get a copy of your source code, and your Git repository is not cloned. Forking is a conversation-level operation. Your project is exactly where it always was. So what actually travels into the fork? Per Anthropic's documentation, the full conversation history up to the fork point, the same working directory, the model you were using, your permission mode, your effort level, and the permissions you'd already granted, including the don't ask again once, so you're not reapproving everything. What does not carry over? Launch time restrictions. Things like a replace system prompt or a tools allow list you started that session with don't follow the fork. Worth knowing if you run lockdown sessions, the fork won't inherit those guardrails automatically. Part 2. And this is the part 1 assumed wrong before I verified it. So let me save you the same mistake. My assumption was, same project folder means both sessions edit the same files, so a fork is not a sandbox. Be careful. That is wrong on current versions. In Claude Code 2.1.212 and later, a forked session moves into its own Git worktree before it edits anything, stored under a worktrees folder inside .claude. A worktree is a Git feature that gives you a second working copy of the same repository on its own branch, in its own directory. So the 2 sessions can work in parallel without overwriting each other's files. That's a much stronger feature than I expected. In practical terms, you can have 2 sessions working the same repository at the same time, and they won't fight over your files. The fork's changes live in its own working copy on its own branch, so your main checkout stays clean while the fork goes off and tries something. This is what turns fork from a curiosity into a genuinely powerful workflow. One caveat I have to flag honestly, that worktree isolation arrived in version 2.1.212. If you're on something older, check before you rely on it. Part 3. The lookalikes. There are 4 other things people confuse with fork, and the difference decides which one you should actually be using. Fork gives you a second independent session running alongside the original. You keep both. Branch is the close cousin. It also copies the conversation, but it switches you into the copy rather than leaving both running side by side. Starting a brand new session gives you a blank slate with 0 history. That's the opposite of a fork. Clearing the conversation wipes context in the session you're already in. And a Git branch is about your code, not your conversation, completely different layer. Fork copies the conversation. Git branches copy the code. This isn't only a click in the app either. There's a matching flag on the command line. Resume or continue with fork session, and you get a new session ID instead of writing back into the original one. I pulled that description straight out of Claude Code's own help output, so it's first party. Practical use. You want to pick up yesterday's conversation, but you don't want today's messy experiment appended to that clean transcript. Fork it, and the original stays pristine. And one genuine gotcha that explains a lot of the confusion online. The /fork command has meant different things in different versions. From 2.1.212 onward, fork creates a full independent background session, the thing we've been describing. But in the earlier 2.1.161 through 2.1.1 range, /fork meant a forked subagent instead, which is a different concept. Newer builds use /subtask for that. So if a tutorial you read contradicts this video, check which version it was written against. That's usually the answer.
Access denied. It's bypassing the firewall.
That's the scenario fork was built for. Part 4. The 5 moments where forking is genuinely the right move. 1. The risky experiment. You're at a good, working state, and you want to try a big refactor. Fork, try it in the copy, and if it goes badly, you still have the original session sitting there at the known good point. 2. A/B testing 2 approaches. Fork twice and let each session build a different implementation, then compare them properly instead of arguing hypothetically. 3. The context template. You've spent an hour giving a session deep knowledge of your code base. Fork it for each new task so you never rebuild that context. 4. Parallel work streams. 5. Preserving a clean transcript before you go exploring. And equally important, when not to. If you just want a clean slate, don't fork, start a fresh session. A fork deliberately carries all the old baggage with it. If you want to isolate code long-term, that's a real Git branch you manage yourself, not a session fork. If the session has already gone confused or contradictory, forking clones the confusion, write a handoff, and start clean instead, exactly like I showed in my last video. And don't fork for every tiny task. They multiply fast, so name them and archive them or your session list becomes unusable. There's a mindset shift hiding in this feature, and it's the real reason I made this video. Most people treat an AI session as disposable. You chat, you close it, it's gone. Fork treats a session as something valuable enough to preserve and branch from, like a save point in a game. Once you think that way, an hour of context isn't something you rebuild every morning. It's an asset you keep forking from. That's a genuinely different relationship with the tool. Everything in one screen. What it is, a copy of your conversation as a new, fully independent session. What it is not, a new project, a new folder, or a copy of your code. What carries? History, working directory, model, permission mode, effort, granted permissions. What doesn't? Launch time restrictions like replaced prompts or tool allow lists. File safety. On 2.1.212 and later, the fork edits inside its own Git worktree, so parallel sessions don't collide. And use it for risky experiments, A/B tests, and reusing expensive context.
Ship it.
So next time you right-click a session and see fork, you'll know exactly what it does, and more importantly, when it's the right tool instead of a new session or a Git branch. If this cleared it up, subscribe, because I'm working through the Claude Code features that people avoid purely because nobody explained them properly. Tell me in the comments which one confuses you most, and that's the next video. And if you spot behavior that differs on your version, say so. I'll pin the correction. See you in the next one.